Fierce ladies, welcome to the Moms in Real Estate podcast, where we unleash our unapologetic power to share the raw truth of our journeys. Brace yourself for a dose of empowerment, education, and encouragement like never before. I'm Kristen, a relentless entrepreneur obsessed with connecting and uplifting fellow boss babes. In this podcast, we're all about getting down to business, conquering motherhood, nurturing relationships, and so much more. Get ready to dive into the nitty-gritty, embrace the hustle, and unravel the secrets of success in the world of real estate. We're here to ignite your fire, equip you with the knowledge, and unleash your limitless potential. Tune in as we redefine what it means to be a true boss babe. Ladies, today on Moms in Real Estate, I get the pleasure of interviewing my good friend, Tina Marie Gamble out of Hawaii. She is not only an amazing real estate who's helped over 400 military families, she is also an ex-MMA fighter. So you guys, you're going to love her journey and everything that she shares with us. So let's dive in. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Kristen.
I'm so happy that you're here right now because we just met in person for the first time.
Which is so exciting.
Yeah, which if you guys, obviously you don't know, but me and Tina have been friends virtually for a couple years now, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then most recently I started coaching her. And it's been so fun because she's like a badass. And the fact that I'm coaching her, I'm like, dang, but we have totally different strengths, which I love. So why don't you dive into like who you are and why you got into real estate, and we'll get into all the things today.
Okay, so there's a lot of different versions that I can say. So I will keep this to where somebody listening can keep up. I am Tina from Texas, originally from a suburb of Northeast Dallas, and I bought a one-way ticket when I was 18 to move out to Hawaii with two friends. And then from there, we promised we would stay at least a year to get acquainted. I slept on an air mattress. I would skateboard. I would catch the bus. Like, I came from nothing. I really just showed up with a couple suitcases and a big heart of just dreaming.
I could totally see you skateboarding. And that's like, you're so cool.
It was fun until I had wipeouts, but also skateboarding was so I could also get better at surfing. So I would longboard and just kind of get the feel. So that way I would get out on the waves and just carve the waves the same way.
Oh, wow. Now you're even cooler.
I love Hawaii. I wish I could have been born there and just soak up everything there. It really just spoke to my soul. I knew on the plane ride there that I was going to be there for good.
You did know?
You just get that intuition and you're like, bye-bye Texas. Like, this is my new home. I was looking for hikes in Texas and like cliff jumping and all kinds of activities in Texas, but the weather changes so much. Whereas in Hawaii, you can live that adventurous life any day that you want to.
That's so true. What's your favorite hike in Oahu?
So I'm a West Side girl.
Okay.
I love like the West Side pillbox. There's a really
Pillbox is literally the best hike ever.
Yes. There's a really cool cave hike. So a lot of people don't know about it. It's pretty far west and it's a little bit of a climb up, but it's this cave that you can just sit in and look out and you see the deep blue ocean. And it's just greenery around you. The West Side is so beautiful.
Oh, I love that. So let's go back to like, you're 18, you're broke, you're skateboarding around. Like, when did you get your real estate license?
I didn't embark on my real estate journey until one of the hardest things happened to me in 2014. So I moved to Hawaii in 2011, 19 years old at this point. By the time I'd saved up for 10 months, I had to save up because I had nobody to call, no lifeline of money, mom, dad, anybody. Like, I was on my own. So I had to make sure that I had enough money to get me through that first year with the friends and then also continue to live life. So when I got to Hawaii, I was, dabbling and trying to find something that could work with my full-time school schedule. So I became a waitress at a popular restaurant called Yard House.
I know Yard House.
Yeah. And it's in Waikiki, super busy. I was very blessed. I was the youngest server there, 19 years old. And those people are like my family to this day.
Oh, I love that.
I love it. And, my story may sound unique to a bunch of listeners, like, oh, she just packed up and moved to Hawaii. But pretty much everybody at Yard House did the exact same thing. I'm talking like stockbrokers just said, I'm out of this from New York City and just wanted to go to Hawaii, be a server, catch the waves. Like, everybody was just looking for a simpler life.
Yeah.
And at the same time, as much as I was looking for a simpler life, I knew I wanted to do great things with my life. Mm-hmm. So that's when I was in school full time, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I physically So like I wanted to help people. I've always known my heart is to serve people. Like that is my God-given talent. And I really believe that, you know, God makes us all super unique to use whatever talents he gives us. And for me, it's a heart to encourage, to help others, to lift others up. And so I was like, how can I get a college degree and do this to help others? So physical therapy is what I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, I was in school full time, paying my way full time, paying, you know, to live in Hawaii. You know, I didn't have a car, so just paying the bus ticket fare. And then it was like, well, what am I going to do now that they just made it? You have to have a doctorate to get a physical therapy degree. And I was like, that's expensive. That's expensive. And it was like, literally, so let's go back to Kristen's word, a time to pivot.
Yeah.
Just straight up had to decide that, wow, I don't know how I'm going to afford this. I'm a waitress and it's already tough enough as is. And so I was just kind of stuck. But then life-changing situation, my grandma, my momo, who helped raise me, means the world to me, loved me unconditionally. She meant everything to me. She fell really ill in 2014. And so I left mid-semester, left everything to just go be with her for her last days. And so wild that we're recording this podcast today, because today's April 30th, and April 30th, 2014 is when I got to have my last conversation with her before she closed her eyes and passed away on May 1st. And she'd be so proud of me for all of this today. She just is, I'll get to the story of, she was a realtor and she helped so many people. And it wasn't until her funeral, which is, you know, about a month later, that I heard so many people get up and speak about how much she changed their lives. She helped families, and this is in Texas, she helped families go from getting their immigration paperwork and becoming a citizen, to helping them get their first job, to helping them get their first home. And she was really a connector, like you are, Kristen. Aww. Totally. Y'all have a lot of things in common. Aww. She was a connector. She was a relationship just idol in the community. You know, when I would spend my weekends with her, weekends are when real estate agents work. So I would go to work with her. I remember we were with buyers and I would like have a digital camera thinking I'm taking listing photos, but you know, we're working with buyers, so it didn't make sense. But I was only 4 or 5. So, you know, in my mind, I thought I was making a difference. And then we'd go to quinceañeras and she'd tell me that everybody was my cousin. Oh, mija, this is your cousin. Oh, this is your cousin. And it wasn't until I was older that I was like, okay, all those people aren't really my cousins.
They're not actually my cousins. That's so great.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time with her, and it was, you know, I didn't realize the extent of impact that she had on people's lives as a real estate agent. You know, that was her profession, but it was so much deeper than that. And so then I was like, you know what? Maybe, because I got back to Hawaii, I was in a funk, and I was just trying to think of like, okay, how am I going to pay for physical therapy school? What's my next move? Like, what's God really calling me to do right now? And so I read this book by Jen Sincero called You Are a Badass. Mm-hmm. And it just encourages you to embark on your wildest, crazy dream. And at the time, you know, I lived in Hawaii for about 5 years, and real estate wasn't as much on the table as it was when I was a little girl. And I dreamt of being a real estate agent like my momo. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm in school to be a physical therapist. Like, that sounds like a career. I don't know. But then the book just said, you know what? You just got to try sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of a break from school, get some money so I can pay for school. And I'm just going to try to be a real estate agent. So I went through and I took the course, and it took me a couple times to, you know, really retain all that information and become an agent. I got licensed and started my NATO training with Coldwell Banker on my 25th birthday, which was 10/10/2016. And then I didn't make a dime for over 6 months until this day, 2017. Again, This day is so crazy. Like, gives me goosebumps, because April 30th, 2017, I made my first paycheck after working over 60 hours a week after week in real estate, not making a dime. I should have given up. I mean, everyone would think that, you know, if you're not making any money, like, hey, so maybe this isn't for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But made, you know, by the time I made that first, I helped that first family, made that first check, I already had like 4 in escrow. And for the rest of that year in 2017, I helped about 13 families, and that was around like 7 million in sales. And I was like, okay, like, I can do this.
Yeah, you got your momentum.
Loving it. Yeah. And it was so fun and so fun. I just really fell in love with real estate from the get-go, but it didn't change until like 2 years later when I really started to change my business model and be more myself, which I think is definitely more common and preached about these days, is like having more authentic, genuine relationships.
Yep.
I always just wanted to follow my Momo's footsteps and build a legacy like hers and be a relationship-based agent. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm going on over 8 years, because 8 years ago today is when I got my first check. So it's been a little over 8 years in the industry, and I've helped over 400 families.
Yeah, and that's so great. And you are so niche in your business too, because you help military families relocate to Oahu, which I think so many agents get so nervous to niche down. And we actually get to talk about this at our live podcast event this week. But if somebody's like listening and thinking like, how did you do that? Like, how did you speak to that person? And did that affect you getting other people? Like, what would you say to them?
Well, I'll be really honest. I was hesitant, even myself at first, to niche down, because when you look at Hawaii and you see like those $10, $15 million homes, it's like, yes, every realtor dreams of listing those. Yeah. But at this point in my career, a few years in, that wasn't my market. Yeah. And so I had to just accept like, hey, I found a niche that is a niche that is allowing me to carry on in my Momo's legacy, a niche that really needed like community, because military families are only in Hawaii for maybe 2 to 5 years, and they really want the community that my Momo had in Dallas, Texas. Like, I was able to provide that community in Hawaii to military families, and there's long lasting relationships within that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm already working with all these military families. Like, why not change all my branding to speak to them exactly? And that way they know that I am the realtor for them in this market. Yeah. And so I just went for it, and I started thinking of questions that were commonly asked, turning it into a reel, turning it into an Instagram post, just answering questions that I knew were speaking to the right audience. And I heard something, and I'm sure other people have heard this too, but if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. Yeah.
Hello, it's Barbara from Your Tax Coach, and we help business owners and real estate investors save money in taxes. So today's tax tip answers the most common question that we get on Instagram. Can you guess what it is? It's, can I write off my clothing? And you as real estate agents cannot write off your clothing for going to listing appointments. But if you are having photo shoots, video shoots, content shoots, or speaking on stages, those outfits could be a business deduction. Now, of course, there's lots of rules involved, but the general consensus is that if you use the clothing 100% for business, yes, that means you could never wear it personally. But if you use it 100% for business, then that outfit could be a business deduction. An even better pro tip is to get those clothing rental memberships like Rent the Runway for special events for your business. And the rental fee is a write-off. So if you're missing out on this deduction, you're probably missing out on hundreds of other deductions. So I created a course called the Write Off Your Life course that teaches you hundreds of deductions that I've seen over the last 15 years. So go to writeoffyourlifecourse.com and you can save money in taxes too. For more tax tips and tricks, follow along on Instagram at Your Tax Coach.
I think it is such a good thing to plant in your head, because I literally still hear so many people get so nervous about it. And I think, like you're saying, do you feel like it affected you with getting somebody that isn't that exact avatar that hired you?
I don't really get people that are non-military related when they're calling me. But when, like, I just had a listing consult last week, and the wife was already very much acquainted with me, saw my reviews, everything, social media, all my branding and everything. And so the husband asked at the end, oh, like, how familiar are you with military? I was like, yeah, I'm very familiar. That's my whole niche. And his wife was like, honey, like, I checked her out. Like, that's all she does.
He's like, oh, good.
Yeah. So it was just funny because, like, the wife had known all that. And so when the husband asked, it was like, yeah, if you just look up anything about me, you'll see the clients that I serve.
You'll see it's attached. Yeah. I love that. Do you feel like most of your business comes through social media?
No,
Okay.
actually. So I think that it's great and wonderful that a lot of people will praise, social media as such a great lead gen. And it is happening a lot more for agents over the last few years. But when I started in the industry, I started with online leads. And I knew that it wouldn't be a forever thing because for me, I'm building a relationship-based community. So once I help this one client, I can have this client recommend me and be rooting for me to get me 5 other clients. And so now my business is all referral based. Okay, I say all, but now I get more social media leads in the past few years. But again, being in the industry over 8 years, started with online leads. Most of it is referral based.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Do you feel like, I just totally lost my train of thought. That like, I feel like hasn't happened in a while. What was my question?
You were asking about, do I get a lot of leads from social media?
Yeah. And then you were talking about being referral based. Oh, I was going to say, so I love that you were like talking about your grandma's funeral and then you're bringing it back like in how you build your business right now and how you're building communities. And I think about this one specific funeral, this my friend's dad, who was such a great impact in my life in his funeral. And they were telling stories just like your grandma's funeral was, right? And it was like really made me sit and reflect, like, how do I want people to talk about me? Like, how am I showing up and serving others? And I love how you've brought that into your real estate business. And you're just like, okay, I'm doing what my grandma did. And I'm also like, obviously a real estate agent, but I'm also like impacting on such a big level. So I just love how you brought that together.
Thank you so much, because at the end of the day, building up a business is one thing, but building a legacy is something that is totally different. And setting an example, I'm a mom. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. So setting an example to them is really important too, so they can see that, hey, mom works, but like we're around mom when she works too, whether it's a play date with another mom or just getting together. Like my wedding had like 330 people at mine and my husband's wedding, because a lot of them, and family flew in, of course.
Yeah.
But most of them were past clients.
I was going to say, were there all your cousins?
Yes. Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
It is a lot. And it was beautiful in Hawaii. And it was just like, it's what I wanted though. I'm the type that I want everybody to be included. So like my daughter's 3rd birthday recently too. Like I was, like 6 weeks postpartum, and I was still like, we're throwing a nice pool party, inviting all my clients. And I try to, relate it to maybe like the single guys that don't want to come to a kid's birthday party. They're invited, but they may not show up. So I try to, do different activities for the clients that I work with and families, like, family movie day. I really try to stay in touch with my clients a lot. So other realtors that are maybe listening, it's really, staying top of mind, of course, pop buys, client appreciation parties. We do like a fun beach party. We have face painting. We do a raffle with all kinds of goodies. Every year on my client's 1-year anniversary, they're in Hawaii. So I want them to have something that's Hawaii based. I send them a beautiful bouquet of Hawaiian flowers. Oh yeah. And so they get that, and a lot of times they post on their social media because it's huge.
And they're tagging you.
Yeah. And it's not even about that kind of recognition. It's about how are you making people feel? Like people will forget what you said, people will forget what you do, but people won't forget how you make them feel. Yeah. Maya Angelou, love her. And so showing up and thinking, how do I want to be treated? How can I make others feel good? How can I build a legacy? Not just, where's my next check coming from? And that's just where I'm so different in this industry. And The Go-Giver is a great book that I read to really set in that mindset of like, how much can you give? It's not about what you take.
Yeah, it's just about serving and giving without expectation. I think so many people in my life have given, but there's always been like an expectation behind it. And so I have this this almost like PTSD over it. And I was listening to Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty. Is that his name?
That podcast?
Yeah. Did you listen to it?
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. And he's like, one thing he pointed out was like, who's the person that's reaching out to you and texting you that like has nothing to ask for? And I was like, oh my gosh, and then reach out to them more often, because I think so often, and you probably feel this, like we get reached out to a lot because somebody needs something like all day long. Right. And so I feel like I was thinking when he was talking about that, I was like, oh my gosh, who are like the people that are just like, hey, how are you doing? And like, I need to be like way more focused on that, you know? And I don't know, that whole podcast was so good. If you guys haven't listened to it, just go to Mel Robbins and type in Jade Shetty. Is it Shetty?
Yeah, and it's on his podcast too. So I heard it on his podcast because I didn't even know Mel Robbins had her own podcast too.
Oh, I love her.
But yes, Jay Shetty and Mel Robbins, I've listened to it a couple times and it inspired me.
I could listen to it again and again.
The Let Them Theory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. But you know, also when you're going through different things in your life, like you're going through health, you know, obstacles and learning things, you're very open about sharing that with people. And so I just recently had a baby. She's 6 months old. And I really got to see who cared about me, like who was texting me, who was checking in, who was dropping meals off. And it felt like, wow, I needed to do an alignment check. If you don't listen to Emily Ford's podcast, she has a great one about, you know, every quarter doing an alignment check. And it is super helpful because when I just did my recent alignment check, I was like, oh, right, these are the people that I want to pour into as well. Like they're giving me the energy that I'm giving out there. You know, people that I didn't realize had the potential to be such good friends, dropping meals off. And then now I'm doing play dates with them more and more. And we're just having genuine connections. And I love it. I love it. I pour into everybody. But every once in a while, you need people to pour into you. And then you can have like a mutual friendship like that as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. So obviously, like you're in Arizona right now and you flew in for the Moms in Real Estate Live podcast event this week, but you also went to another women's conference. And I kind of just want the audience to know more of like how important is it to you to put yourself in the rooms for growth?
So I'm a serial learner.
You really are.
Like, I really feel like, you know, you have to keep up with times. Again, I've been in the industry a while before a lot of social media and things like this. So I've always been learning and growing, implementing, adapting. If something doesn't work, taking it away. And so putting yourself in rooms and just connecting with other women, you know, you can get somewhere a lot faster if you have a mentor and somebody that can provide you with, you know, hey, I've been through this and here's the mistakes to avoid, things like that. So just putting yourself in a room and developing relationships and making those genuine connections. For me, I made a new friend and I was telling her like, this has been so great meeting people. She's like, I've hogged all your time, Tina. And I'm like, no, this is what I'm here for. I am here to make good, genuine connections, whether it's 5 people. I don't need to go and meet 50 people at this retreat. No. I wanted to just build a relationship with people that we could sit and talk. And the next thing you know, we're all at this hotel. There's a fire burning and me and other moms, we're just sharing our birth stories and just non-real estate related. And then there's some real estate related stuff like, what are you doing? What's been working for you? Like, what's your market like? And let's try to send each other referrals, things like that. But overall, it's connecting with like-minded women and growing together because real estate can be lonely. And I think a lot of agents feel that because they want the autonomy of being a solo agent, but at the same time, who are you bouncing ideas off of and how are you playing into strengths and things like that? So for me, running a team, it's like, where is your strength and where is my strength? Where is this person's strength? And making sure that everybody has like their space to thrive. Yeah. And if they're not thriving with something, let's try to find a way to help them not have to do that task.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I just think it's so important. And I love that you just painted a picture for everybody about being around a fire. That's what happens when you go to events. So I know people tell me all the time at my events, like it was so hard for me to get here. And if it's hard for you to get to an event, like think about that story. I think thinking about like being around the fire, sharing birth stories, sharing business, like that is like you will literally leave and be like, that was worth it. And I was just working myself up over it. So I'm so glad. Okay, so I want to end the podcast with a fun question, which I know you know. I think you know, because I know you listened to a podcast recently. So if you were to go in business, let's say you're going to start a new business right now and you had to get a business partner that's famous and or an influencer, who would it be?
I'm going to steal somebody else's answer, okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, I would say you. I have to say you and that's why I've been working with you and going through things with you. You know, there's definitely a lot of inspirational women out there, but to get into business with somebody, you want somebody that has walked through the fire and that has had to take pivots, and they have words of wisdom to keep you uplifted, encouraged throughout your journey. Somebody that is a room connector, somebody that wants to, build a business of legacy like you, and genuine care and connections, because it's not every day that you meet people that are looking out for everyone else's best interest, and you're really that person. So as I'm embarking on some new businesses with myself, then I really feel like surrounding myself with somebody like you is why I jumped on a plane in a heartbeat when you asked me to come speak at the Moms in Real Estate live podcast event. I was just like so excited, and I'm still so excited because that's in a couple days, of just what that room is and all the women that I've already got to connect with around there. It's like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Like everybody that knows you, Kristen, has this amazing spirit, generosity, and they all just want to help other women level up, other moms in real estate level up, and doing it without the egos, without the, drive to, be better than you. It's more about like, let's be better together.
Yeah. I love that.
That speaks a lot of volume for the rooms that you create.
Well, I love getting to coach you, and I'd always be down to do a business with you.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for this opportunity to be here today and talk about my story and, hopefully encourage other realtors. Because honestly, if I can do it, if I can move to Hawaii with a one-way ticket, skateboard, catch the bus, and build a successful real estate empire, like so can you. So can you, anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, before we completely wrap up, I forgot to even talk about your coaching program that you're building. So you guys, she is building a coaching program. Let me have her tell you a little bit about it, and you need to make sure to go follow her on Instagram and message her about it. Go ahead.
So I'm going to have a program. I have not seen this done yet, so I'm so excited, but it is going to be for military realtors. Whether you have helped one military family or you've helped none and you're located near a military base, or I even have an agent that I'm working with that has helped she continues to help over 50 military families yearly, but wants better systems, wants to be able to serve her clients better. Anybody that is interested in this, I am going to be doing an 8 to 10 week course to help you go from start to finish, have a 5-star experience to give your military clients, to where you are also going to have them be referral machines for you. This is going to be a new pillar for you, or it could be your whole niche market. I'm so excited because I'm going to take everything that I have learned and implemented over all the years, show you what works, show you what maybe doesn't work, and show you how to get a leg up in this industry, working smarter, not harder. And the best way to do that, like I said earlier, is to work with somebody that's been through the fire, that's been there, done that, and can help guide you and get you to your goals much faster.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, you guys, her systems you should see her Asana. I about died. I wanted it. I was like, everything in here is so gold. So learning from her on your systems around this specific topic would be a game changer. So where can they follow you?
So Tina_Marie Gamble is my Instagram handle, and Epic Hawaii Homes is another Instagram handle. But yeah.
That's it. All right. Awesome. Thanks for being on.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, it's Kim and Whitney from Real Social Agent, and we love helping real estate professionals create social media content that helps them grow their business.
If you're a real estate professional looking to save time and create more effective content, we're about to make your life so much better.
You're amazing at what you do, and we're here to make sure everyone else knows that. From social media coaching to custom content creation, our job is to make you shine.
Follow us on Instagram at Real Social Agent, or download our free Reels 101 library at the link in the show notes.
Thanks, friend, for listening to the podcast. We love having you in our community. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a review or share it with a friend. Also, we'd love to connect with you on Instagram. Go follow us at Moms in Real Estate.